Well, today we chatted kind of pregame that we wanted to talk about fertility, talk about natural ways to enhance fertility. We see lots of patients that, as a side effect of getting healthier through natural medicine, functional medicine, good nutrition, diet, and lifestyle, they get pregnant, even if fertility wasn't a goal. And we have some patients that come in with the goal of fertility. And the nice thing is, fertility is a byproduct of getting healthy. So, I mean, there's kind of two approaches to it. There's the conventional medicine side where they're not really making you healthier. They may just be changing some of the hormones in your body so you can get pregnant, right? I.e., via IVF therapy, those kind of things, right? And then there's kind of natural ways that we are utilizing the enhancing of health, the enhancing of physiology to get pregnant. And sometimes IVF may be necessary if you've done everything you can do on the health side and you're still not getting pregnant. That may be an option, right? But we want to do everything we can do on the natural medicine side, because if you do that, 80 to 90% of people, I think, are going to get the results they want, which is getting pregnant. So I'm excited to dive into this topic with you today.
Yeah, I would say that it's pretty rare to need IVF based on some of the people that you and I've seen clinically. I've had several men and women, and it's good as a couple, right? So that's the important thing to mention. It's important for the couple to get healthy. A lot of the blame is placed on the woman, but in many cases, male sperm motility or sperm concentration is a big issue. So the men kind of, I don't know why, but in general, the men get ignored in this conversation, but it's really important for them to get optimized as well. And we've had couples where they looked at the cost of IVF, typically 10 upwards of $15,000, depending on
15,
where.
20,000 really.
Yeah. Okay. So 15 to 20. And people come to us first and say, well, we didn't want to go to IVF yet because of the cost. Cost was kind of their main motivator. And maybe they, hopefully had some sort of a natural minded bias. And so they said, well, let's see what we can do first. And then 100 out of 100 times so far, we've been able to avoid IVF in those people. And we've had, between you and I alone, we've had 4 healthy children on our own. And then, countless women that have had healthy pregnancies with our support.
100%. It's all about getting to the root cause, right? And, there is that whole idea of the Pottinger-Katz experiment where Pottinger was a medical doctor, I think in the 50s, and he had different cats and he would feed some raw food, some processed food. And then there was, I think within 3 generations of eating processed food, the cat group that ate the processed food lost the ability to reproduce. So there is this idea that we're on like the 3rd generation or so of this Pottinger cat experiment. And there are some people that are just at that end level where they may have reduced fertility just because they're living out the Pottinger cat experiment in real life. It's possible some of that is the case. So we want to do our best to really emphasize a whole food, nutrient dense, anti-inflammatory diet. We know that pregnancy involves healthy hormones. And as a starting off point, we don't want to eat foods or toxins or hormones in our animal products that could throw off our fertility. So the first step in any fertility program, nutrient dense, anti-inflammatory, low toxin, that's going to mean an organic whole food diet. That's going to mean cutting out hormones and antibiotics and pesticides and GMOs. A lot of these pesticides are xenoestrogens. They mimic hormones as well because they affect the insects from reproducing. That's how they kill them, right? And so it can also have an effect, a cumulative effect on women and men on the sperm count, women on the fertility side. So diet is going to be one of the first things. And the second thing is going to be blood sugar stability. I think this low fat, low cholesterol era, skipping meals, fad dieting has prompted lots of insulin resistance, lots of reactive hypoglycemia, meaning too much sugar, too much carbs, blood sugar goes up and then spikes down, which then creates this insulin surge. And high levels of insulin is really what's behind the leading cause of infertility in women, which is PCOS. That's polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that the mechanism there is high levels of insulin, insulin resistance, insulin surges, thus increase androgens. And then the androgens also can throw off prolactin, and then that can dysregulate a woman's cycle. So you can see there's a lot of different hormonal rhythms that can go off together and create many issues. So the major mechanism is going to be this insulin resistance followed by increased level of androgens, free testosterone, and then also prolactin issues to boot. Those are kind of that's the big initial sequelae that we see. And of course, usually if they're eating a lot of carbohydrate and junky foods, people that are missing that level of awareness tend to also be consuming the pesticides, maybe going low fat, low cholesterol, maybe not getting high quality animal products, and they're getting all the hormones from there too. So that's like kind of my first two things out of the gates.
Yep. Well said.